Have you managed to settle it since with Tito or not?
No, I can't get it right with Tito. I saw Tito about 3 months ago in the streets of Portland. I had just come home from a trip. I was at a Bellator, and I walk outside, and my buddy Joel is going to pick me up. So I walk out to get in the car, and I'm just standing there minding my own business. There's no one around. I'm just standing there waiting for Joel's car to pull up, and I'm playing on my phone, but nobody's around. And I hear somebody say, "There's the pussy." And believe it or not, I will get comments like that, but it's usually from a fan, like, "Oh man, I'm going to knock you out." And you look up and the dude's like, "Oh, let me shake your hand. I'm a huge fan." You know, they'll make some kind of a joke like that. So Tito says, "There's the pussy." So I look up from my phone with a smile on my face. I think I'm about to meet somebody. And it's Tito, and wouldn't you know, the coward is with somebody else. So the only time Tito would ever address me like that, one is when I'm locked in a cage with Vandalay and he's on the opposite side, or two is when he's got a buddy with him. So this scumbag, what a scumbag move. So I look up and I simply say, "Hey Tito, what are you doing in Portland?" I don't say anything else to this day, Gareth, and to this day, he's never responded. He began shaking his head and he began like bumbling his words, and he walked off. And I remember watching him staring at there right on the streets and watching him going, Tito, that wasn't meant as a trick question. Like, that wasn't meant to stump you. What are you doing in Portland seems like something you could respond to reasonably. But this is what he did. So he goes inside, and now I'm pissed. Like, it took a beat for me to get mad. I started doing the math. Go, wait a minute. If I was in Huntington Beach, I walked up on Tito, I insulted him. Oh, and by the way, it was a 2-on-1. Tito's going to be a little upset. And I'm so mad because that was my chance. Like, here we are. This is it. So I get in the car. Right then, my buddy Joel pulls up. So I get in the car, and Joel goes, "Man, something's bothering you. What's going on?" And I said, "Tito and a buddy just verbally assaulted me on the street," and I took it. And Joel goes, When did this happen? I go, "Right now, right before you pulled up. This just happened." He goes, "At the airport?" I go, "Right, this just happened." And Joel goes, "There's a buddy with him? There's two of them?" I said, "Yeah." And Joel doesn't form a word. He doesn't say one thing. His car just starts to U-turn. And I reach up and grab the wheel, and I set it straight. And I go, "No," I said, "Joel, we go back. This is premeditated. It's a whole nother thing. It's over. Just let it go." But I only share that with you, Gareth, because that's a dick move to the highest of levels. I mean, that's a really scummy move by Tito. And maybe that paints a picture of our relationship for you.
Wow, 2-on-2 with you and Joel and Tito and his mate in the streets of Portland, Oregon would have been
think of the position, his mate, as you put it, was in. Maybe that guy's a friend of Tito. Maybe that guy was just hired to drive Tito for the day. Maybe that guy's a fellow scumbag like Tito, but maybe he's not. He would have been caught in some pretty heavy crossfire there if he was just an innocent dude that happened to be walking around with a knucklehead.
Yeah, listen, I love your stories, and I was waiting for a story then that you're cruising for an hour trying to find them on the street.
Joel literally did not form a word. He's like processing what I'm telling him. He goes, "So right now he's there with a buddy. Right now, this just happened." And the car just like starts to hit a U-turn. I literally reached up, grabbed the wheel, and pulled it back straight. And I said, no, just go.
So if you could get drawn back for one fight to put the record straight and to put someone straight, could it be Tito Ortiz?
I would fight Tito under any rules for any reason. I don't need a check and all those things, and I'm not trying to dangle something out there. I mean, right, when a guy accosts you on the street, you have a level right to defend yourself, particularly when there's two of them. I mean, if he would have been closer, I would have had no other reasonable response than to believe I had to defend myself. Now, fortunately, I asked him a question that like made his mind explode, which was simply, "What are you doing in Portland?" But for some reason, that fumbled him so bad that they wandered off. So there's my answer to Tito. I am not looking for a fight with Tito. I'm not looking for a fight. Just to clear that up.
Do you think that when you said that, "What are you doing in Portland," he might have taken it as a threat?
I haven't the foggiest idea. I think he was just looking for a different response. I think when he comes at me in his greet to a guy he's known for 20 years, by the way, 21 years I've known this. If I would have seen Tito, I would have said hello. I mean, if I did, I either would have avoided him or I would have just said hello. Whether I liked him or not, that's called being civil. For him to come up with aggressive language like that on the street while outnumbering me 2-1, I mean, I just thought it was a chicken move to the highest of level. Same as when he's heckling me when I'm in the ring about to fight a killer named Vandalay Silva. It's just these chicken, cowardly moves that you see from Tito all the time. And he's gone as far, Gareth, as to tell me, hey, I'll make a truce with you. We can be all cool in the gang. You just need to publicly apologize to me. It's like, man, what world do you live? Publicly apologize to you for what? For selling tickets and garnering attention? For
Chael, what have you said that he's so offended about?
He says that I offended his family, that I offended his children and his wife, and it just turns into a whole mess, Gareth, because first off, that isn't true. Second off, he doesn't have a wife, and he's running around with this gal that he's been shacked up with for a number of years, which is none of my business, and I'm not even like to insult them now, but he doesn't love her enough to put a ring on it. She's so out of her mind, she tells people they're married. She went on some TV show called Wags. Her last name's not Ortiz. Her last name will never be Ortiz, and I'm not getting in his wheelhouse right now. I'm sharing with you for him to say that I spoke out against his wife, of which he doesn't have. And by the way, that girl on his arm, I never spoke of her anyway. I'm telling you a story about her, and I'm not telling you her name because I don't even know her damn name.
Who'd have made a better porn star, you or Tito?
What? Tito, Chael P keeps his clothes on, and if you're not married, I don't want to hear about it. I'm a square. I'm from the other side of the tracks, Gareth. Born and raised Catholic, all right? Don't ask me about porn.
You've never been asked if you'd have made a good porn star before, would you?
I wouldn't have made a good porn star. I don't want anything to do with porn. There's my answer.